So, Friday night, I was sitting here knitting this beautifully textured knit, and I was thinking, oh God, I just want to knit plain stockinette. This happens a lot when I'm doing this. I love structured knits, but sometimes you just need, ease for the brain, right? So I started looking into PetiteKnit sweaters because she is really the queen of, plain, not in the derogatory sense of the word, but plain stockinette sweaters with a really good fit. So I started looking at her website and I was like, what? Didn't I just see that? What? Because she does have a few series of sweaters that look very similar to each other, but they are called different things and they're sold as standalone patterns. So I thought, there's something here I need to know. I need to know what the difference is between these sweaters. So I thought, I'm gonna take one for the team. I'm gonna knit them and I'm gonna tell you what is really the differences here. The sweaters that I was thinking about, they are the Cloud series, the Ivy series, and the Frankie series. So they're all quite plain with sort of a mock neck situation going on, and the Frankie series are striped and the Ivy is very plain and the Cloud is very similar to the Ivy, I have to say. But I don't believe that she has actually published separate patterns for exactly the same sweater. And I think that this is going to be very useful for you as well, so that you can make, informed choices when you want to buy one of these patterns. Have I actually introduced myself? Hi, I'm Marta. To you English speaking out there, it's basically the same name as Martha. I'm an architect. I started my own business a couple of years ago. I'm super interested in the creative process of things, and I want to just talk about it and think about it all the time. And that is actually a little bit why I want to do this video, because I'm super interested in what is her PetiteKnit, the creative process behind her patterns, because she is obviously one of the best known designers in the knitting world today. And she has made a lot of designs and she's managed to keep herself relevant as a designer for almost 10 years now. And I think you can say what you will about her designs, if you like them or not. That's a matter of taste, and people will have very different opinions about that. But she has managed something that very few others have, which is to be, I just said it, but relevant over time. I think that is one of the most difficult things we can do. Like, a lot of people can be one-hit wonders and make one great design or one great song or write one really good book, but doing that consistently is very difficult. In the back of my mind for this project here, it's selfish because I really want to know the difference between those two patterns, and I really like the designs. I would like to wear them on my body, but she is also kind of an elusive character. I feel it's a little bit more difficult to get into like who she is as a person. And I'm curious to see if we can discover some of that through her knitting patterns and see what we can read from that. I have to make a choice. I can't knit 6 sweaters. So I chose Frankie sweater and the Ivy sweater. I need to find yarn. I'm gonna have to check my stash and see if I have something to make from it, and then we'll go from there. The Ivy sweater, the yarn is Isager Soft or Snefnug or Poppy from Sandnes. I know that Snefnug is a blow yarn, so I suppose the other ones are too. I don't have any blow yarn in my stash at the moment because, to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of blow yarns. But We'll do it. We'll do it. The Frankie sweater is knit with PetiteKnit's, and the gauge is 20 stitches on needles 4mm. I might have something that can work. So I am a bust 90. I should check actually. Might have changed, you know. I've been working out lately for like 5 weeks. So I'm at, yeah, 93 centimeters. 93 is 36.5 ish. Yeah. All right. So 93. I should have positive ease about 20 centimeters. So that means 113. And she exactly. I'm exactly in the middle of two different sizes. So the small is 112 and the medium is 114. I'm gonna go down to 112 because I don't want it to be too baggy. All right, I have this wonderful yarn here. It's 100% Italian merino. 50 grams is 160 meters. That's not gonna work. So I have started knitting with it. It's very fluffy. It's very fluffy. So I do have enough yarn. It would be really nice not to have to go outside and buy more yarn because I do have yarn, right? I'll make a test. So the one thing I'm sitting here thinking about is if I knit with this yarn that is so much more lighter than the yarn that she used, the sweater is going to have a different look. All right, I'm going to run down because I do have that yarn that she has in her pattern. I have it downstairs. I'm going to go and get it, okay? Hang on. Hello. All right, here we go. This is Sandnes PetiteKnit. This is how we say it in Norwegian, PetiteKnit. So this is, well, first of all, let's see. There are 4 plies. Here you can see, right? If you untwist all the ends, you can see that there are four threads in this yarn. And in comparison to this one, this is much more, it's a little bit more fuzzy. This is only 2 threads. It's very light and very bouncy and very, well, almost fluffy, you know? It's almost like, this is the closest you can get to a blow yarn without the, like, blow technology of it all. If you like zoom in with a microscope on a sheep fiber like this, they have tiny little hooks that latch onto each other, a little bit like Velcro. So that's what enables this yarn to be the way it is, and it's delicious and it's wonderful to wear because you get very light, airy sweaters and you have yarn that stretches really long for how much fiber is actually in here, or how little fiber is actually in here. This one, however, is different because you have 4 plies, so you have much more fiber. It's a denser yarn, it's a heavier yarn, and this is actually really why you can use these very 2 different yarns in the same pattern, because this will have the same thickness, but it's going to be denser, and that has a huge effect on how the garment looks. So if you knit with this, it's going to be more slouchy as a type of sweater. It's not going to hold the shape of the garment in the same way as this one does. So that is actually what I'm thinking about now. So in this case, it would be useful to understand the ease intended for the sweater as well. So the more positive ease in the sweater, the sloucher is going to be with this yarn here. And this yarn will help to like rein in the billowiness of the fabric. So one way to kind of counterbalance that would be to actually choose a smaller size garment. You know what I'm going to do? I can knit a swatch from each and we'll see. That's what I'm going to do. All right, this is interesting. So I'm reading what she says for choosing the size on the Ivy sweater. That is supposed to have a positive ease of 12 centimeters. And again, my bust measurement group of 99 to 95 centimeters is giving a very different result in this case. Finished garment measurement should be 105. And when I look at the chart of bust size for the finished one, the small is 102 and the medium is 107, which means that in the Ivy sweater, I'm much closer to the size medium. So if you're confused about the Frankie sweater and how to choose the size, the thing about that one is that when you have such a large amount of positive ease built into the design, each size can room a lot of different body shapes, right? All the tolerances of the pattern are so much bigger. When the positive ease in the Ivy sweater is 12 centimeters, you have a lot less wiggle room to target your correct size, which actually makes it easier to choose. So in the Ivy sweater, I'm going to choose the size medium for sure. We'll do it. So let me tell you, this is the yarn in the pattern. This is what I found in my stash. 19 stitches, 21 stitches. What do I need? Yeah, 20. So as I was knitting these, I was thinking like, for the scientific purpose of this video, I have to go to the yarn store. As you can see, I pulled out some stitches because right after I knit the sample, and yes, I am aware it's teeny tiny. It should have knitted a big one, but I am an impatient person, okay? So I knit this and I got 17 stitches on needle number 4. All right, my gauge might be different from the pattern, fine, but I'm not willing to knit this one on needle 3.5 millimeters. No, not gonna happen. Do not want this sweater as a super dense sweater. This one on the other hand, I mean, you can see the difference here, right? I cast on the exact same amount of stitches on the same needle. So this one is also maybe a little bit tiny, but I'm very okay with going up a needle size for this one, right? It's nice. It feels nice. I'm kind of disappointed. I wanted to go and buy new yarn, but then I want to use this one. These stripes together, I think that's going to be a nice one. You know what? I always like to promote sustainability. Use what you have before you buy something new. So I am going to use this one. I'm going to take the sustainable choice and use what I already have. Done. I'm going to knit this on 4.5 millimeter needles instead of 4. It's going to be great. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do.